Today, scientists are working to improve the technology for the use of sustainable energy. You've probably heard about energy from the wind and the sun, but have you heard about getting energy from wastewater? Well, there's actually a way to electrify contaminated water with devices called
Microbial fuel cells, or MFCs for short. So, what are MFCs? Well, they work like batteries. Batteries convert chemical energy into electrical energy. The batteries we use every day should really be called cells. Two or more cells create a battery. But let's go back to cells. A cell is made of three parts: two electrodes, which are usually conductive metals, one positive called the cathode, and one negative called the anode, and a chemical called the electrolyte. A chemical reaction in the anode leads to an excess of electrons, which are negatively charged particles. The electrons want to rearrange themselves throughout the cell, but the electrolyte doesn't allow electrons to pass directly to the cathode. With the help of an external wire, we can create a circuit, or a path for the electrons, from the anode to the cathode. This provides the power to any electrical appliance that is part of the circuit. MFCs work the same way, except microbes, the living things that cover every surface of the planet, are in charge of generating electrons. The microbes grow in an oxygen-free chamber, so electrons won't bind to oxygen. Once microbes consume food, which could just be a sugar or any biodegradable matter, they release electrons and protons, or positive particles. The protons pass through a membrane to the cathode, while the electrons attach to a metal that is connected to a circuit. The electrons will travel through the circuit to the cathode, where electrons, oxygen, and protons combine to form water. This is how we can get electricity from bacteria. Scientists have found that microbes love sewage, and some wastewater treatment plants have been putting MFCs to work by using microbes that consume sewage and wastewater and produce electricity and clean water. This technology can be used in developing countries where there are few sanitation facilities, which are expensive, and where there is little access to electricity and clean water. A company called Cambrian Innovation has created an MSC called EcoVolt that can produce methane gas simply by having a bacteria and a cathode that can use electricity, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide to create methane. This gas can provide clean heat and energy. MSCs can even be used in space. The Naval Research Laboratory has created a prototype with bacteria that can break down metals to produce energy to run rovers.
Microbes are little guys that can do big things. If we continue improving the power output for MSCs, we can eventually use this device to not only produce energy, but also turn wastewater into drinking water. Together, we can take a step closer towards a more sustainable world.